The Group Member Evaluation tool provides students with the platform to share their experience after completing a group project. This provides instructors with insight as to what is happening within groups, which includes the level of contribution amongst group members. Instructors can set criteria via a rubric for students to use to rate each other within this tool, providing students with structured and effective feedback. Engaging in this process can also assist students in taking ownership of their learning by focusing on learning and growth from feedback that they have received. In addition, they can also reflect on their own skills through engaging self-assessment. To use this tool, you first need to access FeedbackFruits. You can do this by going to the content area of your Brightspace course. Then select the module you wish to place your activity in. From here, select Existing Activities and choose FeedbackFruits. To begin creating a group member evaluation activity, select Start from Scratch and then select Group Member Evaluation. After opening a group member evaluation activity, you can begin adding a title and instructions for your students. In this example, I'm letting students know that they will be evaluating their fellow group members in their discussion groups. I'm also letting them know that their feedback will be anonymous to other students. However, I as the instructor will still be able to see what they wrote. Anonymity is not a default setting, and we'll cover how to set this up later in the video. Additionally, you can select Add Items to record audio or visual instructions. This button also allows you to attach a file to the instructions as well. In the Student Collaboration section, you can control how students can evaluate each other and how they are evaluated. By default, students will evaluate and be evaluated individually. To change this, or to view more options, select the Change button. Now I can choose if students will be evaluated either individually or as a group. I'm going to select individually, because I want students to be evaluated based on their group contributions. And since I want students to evaluate their peers that they did this project with, I'll select for students to evaluate within groups. It's important to note, though, that you have several other evaluation options if you wish to use them. You can have groups evaluate other groups, group members individually evaluate other groups, and so many more options. As long as the group option is chosen for the evaluation option, you will be prompted to select a group listing to choose from to use for this activity. Groups that are available to choose from are pulled from groups created directly in FeedbackFruits, along with groups created in Brightspace. I see a group listing that I want to use, so I'll select that, and then I'll click Done. Now in the Given Review section, I can see an option to configure feedback criteria. I'll do that by selecting Configure. This area gives me the option as an instructor to choose how students will be evaluating each other. I can build a set of criteria via a rubric, a scale, or by providing comments. Students will use my criteria to evaluate their peers. You can select any of these three options to start creating your criteria. However, I actually already have a rubric in my library that I want to use for this particular activity, so I'll add that. If you create or upload a rubric, you have the option for each criterion to allow students to make comments. You can also make comments required. I'll make it required so that there is one comment per criterion. Once I'm finished, I'll select Done. In the Given Reviews section, you can also adjust the following settings. For required number of peers to review, you can choose the number of required reviews students must complete, either a set number or all peers within a group or class depending on your contribution settings. I'll select all peers, since I want my students to review their fellow group members. I also have the option to have students take a self-assessment to show how they believe they performed. I'll make sure that this is enabled too. If this setting is enabled, I also have the option to enable the automatic outlier detection. Once enough data is collected from students who complete reviews, this lets me see if students are underperforming, a high performer, or underconfident based on their feedback on themselves along with their peers' feedback. In the Scheduling Deadlines area, you can choose when this learning step closes, either never or after a certain date and time. I'll go with the latter option and set this deadline for next week. In the Allocations area, you can choose how to allocate reviews for your students. By default, students will have to review their peers one by one. But if you select the Change button, you can see additional options. Some other allocation options are to have students review all of their peers at once automatically, or manually assign the allocations, choosing the order of the peers to review. I'll keep this at automatically one by one. If you wish for evaluator feedback to be anonymous, you can do that in the Anonymity area. By enabling reviewer anonymity, reviews are submitted anonymously to peers, but teachers can always see the reviewer's name. I'll make sure this is enabled. Please note, though, that this setting cannot be changed after students have already made progress on their evaluations. In the Visibility section, you can choose when students will see their received feedback. Your options to choose from are immediately, after a certain date, or never, meaning that instructors will release the visibility manually. I'll select the date option. In the Guiding Students section, you can enable the Feedback Writing Tips option. This gives instructors an option to leave custom feedback tips for students to consider. By default, FeedbackFruits provides sample tips, but instructors can customize them with the Configure button. I'll leave this unselected for now. Another feature in this area is an option titled Review Checklist. If enabled, it allows instructors to create a checklist for students to follow when leaving feedback to their peers. Checklist items can be customized by instructors by selecting the Configure button. For me though, I don't need to provide a checklist, so I'll leave this setting alone. And one last option in this section is an area for instructors to provide instructions for students giving feedback. In the Received Reviews and Feedback on Feedback section, you can enable feedback on feedback. If enabled, students can rate the received feedback on a usefulness scale of 1 to 10 with the option to provide written clarification. If enabled, it can also choose when the feedback on feedback learning step closes, either never or after a certain date. I'll keep this enabled, and I'll leave the learning step open. In the Grading section, you can configure which facets of the activity should be weighted in the student's grade. The weighting needs to be 100% in order for students to achieve a grade. And in order to determine which percentages of the activity should be counted towards that 100%, you can select the Configure button. Here I can see all the options I can enable to count towards my students' grades. I have a few options to choose from here, but I'll enable only has completed giving feedback to self and all peers on 5 criteria, and average ratings from reviewers. I'll keep each of these enabled criteria at 50%. Now that this adds up to 100, I'll select Done. Below the grading area, in the grading options section, I have a few more options to choose from. First is to publish grade either as a percentage or pass-fail. I'll keep this at percentage. Next is require participating for grade, which, if enabled, only gives students a grade for participating, and students who don't participate will receive a blank grade. I don't want this enabled. Then there is the scheduling and auto-publish grades. This gives instructors the ability to publish grades after a certain date or time, or have grades publish automatically. The last option is individualize students' group project grades, which I personally don't recommend. This uses a formula to determine a student's grade based on the ratings from their peers. This option removes all prior grading criteria that was set up previously, which is why it's not recommended. And now it looks like everything is set up the way I want it to be, so I'll save my activity. Before students begin this activity, I want to make sure that the grades that students achieve in FeedbackFruits syncs up to the Gradebook in Brightspace. To ensure that happens, I'll need to actually go in and select the activity in Brightspace. Below the activity, I'll look for the area titled Assessment. If I click in this area, I'll see this drop-down box. If I already made a grade item for this activity, I can find that grade item here in the drop-down box and choose it. But I actually didn't create this grade item ahead of time. So if you need to create a new grade item, select New Grade Item. Here you can add basic details such as the grade item name, the points, weighting, category, and more. Once you are finished creating your grade item, select Save to finish. Now, once students complete the activity, the grades that they achieve will now be synced to the Brightspace Gradebook. Thank you for watching. For more FeedbackFruits related content, please subscribe to our channel.